What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about three main things. We're going to talk about how Walmart has an overstock problem, which is actually a good thing for the American consumers. I want to address what's going on and some of the deals that you might be able to get. We're also going to touch on gas prices, how they are coming down, but experts say this might only be temporary, and this could be the calm before the storm. I want to address what's going on there and what we need to be looking forward to for next week. And lastly, we're going to talk about President Biden's $200 billion investment. What's that going to, and what is the thought process behind that? I know I got a lot of questions over the past couple of days, so I will address that in today's video. First off, hopefully you guys had an incredible weekend. If you did, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, and let's get right down to it. Here's what I can tell you. Gas prices are coming down. This is good. We've been waiting for this. Gas prices were up a little bit over $5 as a national average. We are now down to $4.89. That is great. But just because gas prices are coming down from a national average doesn't mean every single city is bringing their prices down. I was traveling this weekend, doing a little bit of stuff with friends and family, but one of the things that I noticed was I would go to a gas station. So I was over near Marysville here in Washington State, and I noticed at one gas station, gas was $5.89, $5.89. I drove less than a half mile down the street to a Safeway. Gas prices were $4.97, almost $1 difference. So keep that in mind. Not every single gas station is bringing their prices down yet, right? So make sure you look for some deals. Now, here's what economists are saying. Economists are calling this the calm before the storm. And they say this because this happens right before every big holiday. Now, what are the big holidays? Now, we have Labor Day, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have Memorial Day, we have July 4th. Those are really the big holidays. I might have missed a couple. But what we see every single time is drivers, or just people in general, they travel less. They do less right before a major holiday. Normally because they're working, they're getting ready for the holiday, they're picking up their homes, they're packing, whatever it may be, right? Getting errands done. So they're doing less traveling. So what we see is gas prices typically come down. Well, that's exactly what we've seen over the past few days. The expectation is gas prices could continue to trickle down over the next about a week, because in 1 week it is July 4th, and then we're going to see gas prices pick back up again. So just understand that's what many are expecting. Now, that's the good news, is prices are coming down. Here's some more of the bad news. We also got news that weather is going to get much hotter. Cities are already preparing for this. Cities are already seeing record-breaking heat, and is expected to get even hotter in the coming months. Now, there's been a lot of talks of a power crunch amid this heat, and this is where hundreds of millions of people could be impacted. And I've said this before, make sure you are prepared, right? Make sure you're prepared. Have a way to, disinfect water, right? Make sure it's clean, right? This is something that you have to do. Make sure you have some water bottles set aside. And I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about cases, right? Just in case we see our power grids go down. Make sure you're prepared. Have food in your pantry, right? Have gas in your car. Be fueled up. Never let your vehicle get below half a tank. Make sure you are, as soon as it gets to half a tank, you fill it back up. Same thing, gets to half a tank, you fill it back up. Make sure you're doing this, okay, to be prepared. Now that we're talking about being prepared, how can you do this? Well, a lot of people come to me and say, I like that idea. I like preparing. I like making sure that I'm ready in case something were to happen. But the problem is things are too expensive. The problem is I don't have a lot of money. What do I do? Well, here's what I can tell you. right now, and I want to talk about the overstock of products at Walmart. This is going to be critical. If you have a little bit of money saved up, and I'm not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm talking about, you got 20, 30, 50 bucks. If you have $50, you could potentially buy quite a few things in a store like Walmart, Target, even Kohl's, because these are the stores that have a huge overstock of products. They purchased too much inventory over the past year. It finally started to show up, and now they're attempting to move it. The only way to move products when we are seeing consumers don't want to spend money, you got to give them an epic discount. Now, in a recent interview with the former CEO of Walmart, Bill Simon, he had this to say: an 8% overstock would have been too high. 15% would have been terrible. But 32% is apocalyptic. That's what they have. 32% overstock. Well, we're also seeing people are buying less products. So this isn't a good sign. But this is a great sign for consumers. But this is not a good sign when the former CEO of Walmart is saying these things. And what we are about to see are prices come tumbling down. Again, which is a good sign. Now, if you are planning on buying any products or you have been over the past 6 months, now might be the perfect time. But here's a tip for you guys. Just make sure that whatever it is you're buying, you actually want and need the item. If you don't want it but you need it, you might have to buy it. If you want it but you don't need it, I'd recommend you do not buy it. You need to want and need the product, right? Now, another little piece of advice. Right now we're seeing credit card interest rates go up fairly quickly. If you can avoid using a credit card, I'd highly recommend you avoid using a credit card. Just because you get let's say you buy a TV. Say it's a $200 TV. Great. It used to be $400. All right. Well, if you buy it on a credit card, that TV is likely going to cost you more money. Okay? It may not cost you $400, but it's likely going to cost you $220, $250, maybe even $300 before you finally pay off that card. So make sure if you can, pay cash. Okay? Especially in times like these. Now, if you have a credit card and you're always paying it off, go for it, but just be careful. Now, one other thing I want to address when it comes to Walmart, and I thought this was very interesting. Okay? And this is just another sign of what we are seeing. But Walmart executives, they have said that consumers are not even buying entire gallons of milk anymore. They're not buying gallons. Now the majority of their sales for dairy products, they're coming from half gallons, not from gallons. And this again is another sign that our economy is slowing and people just don't have the money like they once believed. And again, I bring this up all the time. People are changing the way that they shop. It's not just for clothes and cars and homes. It's for food as well. Some have went from name brand products back to off-brand or store brand products, which is fine. A lot of times it tastes the exact same. Here's the difference. Some are, instead of buying the bigger product, because now it costs more money, they buy the smaller product like a half gallon, because when they get up to the register and pay with that $100 bill, that $100 bill will still cover all their goods. The only difference is they're getting less. Maybe not half, but they're getting less. But one thing I just want to ask is, let me know, are you buying whole gallons of milk or have you switched over to half gallons? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, let's address President Biden's plan to contribute $200 billion towards a global infrastructure initiative. Because President Biden said this morning that this is not aid, this is future funding, this is an investment. He also stated that this initiative by the G7 would build a strong path to sustainable projects that are grounded in our shared values. He also went on to say, it's built using the global best practices, transparency, partnership, protections for labor and the environment. And then he went on to say this, and I quote, we're offering better options for countries and or people around the world to invest in critical infrastructure that improves their lives, all our lives and deliver real gains for all of our people. That's what he said. Now, I want to bring something up because I know I got a lot of questions on this. How are we investing into other countries when we cannot invest into this one? We cannot make sure the lives here at home are better. Well, here's what we know. According to multiple reports, the G7 felt like they had to do something like this in order to keep up with China. Because actually back in 2013, China, they launched the Belt and Road Initiative. So this was really the Build Back Better World plan. President Biden addressed this, or pretty much brought this up last year. But this is the G7's counter to what China has done. So, according to these reports, this is something that we need to do. And yes, it is an investment. It is not just aid to other countries and blow this money however you wish. What President Biden said is this is going to bring in other countries, and I can't remember the country, but they're going to start to produce more COVID vaccines or COVID related products. And so it's still, hey, let's take some money and let's invest for the future of what COVID could potentially be. So again, according to President Biden, we're moving out of this pandemic, but at the same time, we're still investing back into it to try to figure out or make sure that we never come back to this phase again. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward, but what I can tell you is there's a lot of talks, there's a lot of discussions. The only problem is there's not a lot of action. So we will see what happens there, but as always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates again. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.